And welcome into Sports Talk at the Stadium. Kevin McCrary here at the Florida Citrus Bowl Stadium, where the final game of the 2014 season in the books for Clemson. And, well, I guess I have to eat some crow. I did a video yesterday, and Oklahoma was my pick. I don't think that I could have been more wrong. I will give myself a little bit of an out where I did preface that pick by saying it wouldn't shock me if Clemson won and explained how they would do it with their defense making plays and their special teams making plays and their offense protecting the football. That's what they did. Now, even under that scenario, I would not have thought it was going to be 40-6. Just an impressive performance by Clemson. Dabo Swinney said they had a great week of practice, the best bowl practice they've ever had, according to Dabo Swinney. And I know he's a guy that isn't afraid of hyperbole, but certainly they look like they had a pretty great week of practice because they had a pretty great game here against Oklahoma. Just smoked them. I mean, smoke dogged them from the beginning. 3 and out on the first series for the defense. First offensive play, Cole Stout, Artavis Scott, touchdown, and Clemson never looked back from there. Cole Stout, your MVP. I'll repeat that. Cole Stout, your MVP of this game. Again, nobody would have predicted that. They'd be a millionaire if they did. Great story, a Cinderella story in Orlando, right up the road from Disney World. Cole Stout goes out there, throws for 300 plus, 3 touchdowns, does not turn the ball over, and leads Clemson to a win in his final game. So very impressive there. Now look at Clemson. 4 straight seasons now of 10 or more wins. They've had 3 straight years winning bowl games, and the 3 that they've taken down, LSU, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. That's pretty impressive. And I can tell you, Bob Stoops, listen to his audio here at sportstalksc.com. He was the coach that was answering the questions about if he has what it takes to lead a program, not Dabo Swinney, who a lot of people want to take shots at because maybe he doesn't call offensive or defensive plays. Well, Dabo Swinney wins, and that's what coaches are defined by, winning. And how they win is another thing. Are you breaking NCAA rules? Are guys getting arrested? Are you not graduating anybody? Swinney does all of those things. I mean, he has built a program the right way at Clemson, and you got to give this guy credit for what he's done. It's really easy to, look, we're all guilty of it. I've taken pot shots at Dabo when he says things that are off the wall. That's just part of his personality. That's who he is. But nobody can take away from the fact that this guy has gotten it done at Clemson. Now, you're going to talk about the rivalry against South Carolina where he's dropped 5 of 6. My, counter to that would be those are some pretty darn good South Carolina teams that were winning, 10, 11 games as well. Not a lot of people were beating them, period, not just Clemson. So I think that's more of a testament to the team South Carolina had at that time than a knock on Dabo Swinney. I just don't think that's a legitimate knock on him. So where does he go from here? He loses a ton off this team on that defense, that top-ranked defense that shut down one of the highest-scoring offenses in the country in Oklahoma. They lose the big dogs, of course. They lose Vic Beasley. They lose Grady Jarrett. They lose Tony Stewart. They lose that entire defensive line. So they're going to have to replace some guys, and I think that's going to be difficult. It always is when you lose a lot of talented playmakers, but they have some talented guys coming back that did play some roles. Ben Boulware was starting for Stephon Anthony, who was suspended the first half. He gets a pick 6 on an interception. He'll be back next year. Mackenzie Alexander at defensive back, cornerback, a guy that I really like the way he plays out there. I think he's going to be a really good player at Clemson and an early round draft pick in the NFL down the road. So, a great season for Clemson. I really think this was a very good season. Given what they went through from a transitional period offensively. They rode that defense, which was supposed to be good. It was. They lived up to the hype. Their offense survived. They had a freshman quarterback who didn't play in this game, who lived up to the hype. And, they've got a little something to build on. And every year is different. You never know how a season's going to play out, what plays are going to go your way, which plays aren't, injuries, the ebbs and flows. But certainly Clemson has positioned itself to be, in all likelihood, a preseason top 15 team next year, I would imagine, with the offensive players they have coming back. And, and some of the street cred they have now after, when you put together back-to-back 10-win seasons, you start getting that street cred where people are going to vote you high just because you've been doing it for the better part of a half a decade. So the final game of 2014, boy, parting is such sweet sorrow, but there's a lot of coverage at the website here. Go check out Dabo Sweeney's comments and Cole Stout and Grady Jarrett in their post-game press conference. Listen to Bob Stoops. He was certainly entertaining, and he's not a guy that's afraid to give it back to media when they ask tough questions. And he was asked some tough questions and gave some tough answers right back. So that's up on the website as well. You can watch the awards ceremony out on the field, Dabo Sweeney and Cole Stout picking up some hardware and a lot more at sportstalksc.com. And even though football season's over, we hope you keep coming back to the website where we cover basketball and baseball. We take you all the way through the dog days of summer, and we'll be right back here again at some stadium somewhere next football season. But don't be a stranger. Keep coming back here to sportstalksc.com. We appreciate you finding us here and appreciate you making us a part of your football experience.